guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be getting into 7 solutions to home decorating mistakes that you may be making. So if you are newly decorating a home or just moved, or you've been living in the home for a while and you just want to spruce things up, then stick around. This video is for you. If you're new here, then hit the subscribe button. If you like this kind of content, let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you're making any of these mistakes and how you fixed them. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to address is your curtain height. So I have noticed this in my own home. I didn't realize that this was something that was making my home not look as good as it could look. So you can make your home look so much more elevated and nice and put together if you are hanging your curtains higher and wider. So that is the key, is hanging your curtains high and wide will give the illusion of much higher ceilings and a bigger window, and it also is going to let in a lot of the natural light that you would be blocking out if you were hanging your curtains closer together. So the key is to hang your curtains as high to the ceiling as you can, or 10 inches above your window frame if your ceilings are higher than that. So for the width, you're going to hang them 6 to 8 inches out from the window frame, and that will allow for a lot of natural light to come through. Your window is going to look so much bigger, and it's just going to make your space look so much more elevated and grand. Another tip that I have for curtains is adding in your own pleats at the top of the curtains, because it makes your curtains look so much more custom and pristine. It just gives a finished look to the space. So if you guys want to see a video on how to do that, then let me know in the comments down below, and I'll show you guys how to pleat your own curtains so that you can get that high-end finished look. The next thing that we're going to talk about is scaling your items and your decor pieces correctly. So a lot of times you'll see a bunch of small items scattered around on a bookshelf or built-ins, or if you're doing like a gallery wall kind of thing. But if you are using all of those small pieces, then it can tend to start to look cluttered. And a way to fix this is to use a larger scale piece. So if you go into Restoration Hardware, for example, they are so good at doing this, is using larger scale pieces to fill up a bigger area. So then you're not using all of these smaller items that could clutter up your home and make it look just like there's too much going on. So a lot of times I have styled bookshelves with lots of smaller pieces, or console table, just to fill up the space, because I thought, oh, there's a lot of space here, so I have to have all these little things to buy to style it with. And a lot of times that was out of my budget mindset of, I'm gonna buy this small thing because it's cheaper than this really big piece. But in the end, I ended up spending more money on all of the small pieces than I would have on purchasing the larger piece. So one tip that I have for you guys is, if you have a large space that you're wanting to fill with art, instead of doing like a gallery wall or a smaller piece of art that may not fit to scale correctly for that space, you can make your own art. You can go to Goodwill or a thrift store and find a large framed picture that you can paint over, or just give it your own flair. You can DIY it from beginning to end. Go buy some wood, a canvas, frame it out, make it your own. Another thing that you want to avoid in designing your home is incorporating matching sets. So by bringing in all of these matching sets, like matching furniture for your bedroom, or 2 of the same couches that you're bringing into the space, it can start to make the space feel a little too much of the same thing. So to break it up and mix in pieces, it's nice to be able to go and curate your home and bring in pieces into your home piece by piece so that it brings in more of a traveled look into your home and more of a designed and thought out look. You didn't just go into a store and pick up a furniture set, but you really were intentional about the pieces that you were bringing into your home and how you were designing them for that space. You can also bring in vintage pieces, and that is going to be something that adds a lot of character and texture and depth to your space. Someone that does this very well is Shay McGee with McGee & Co. She is so good at incorporating these vintage pieces into the spaces that she's designing, and it just brings so much character into those spaces. So that's something that I encourage you guys to do, is to curate your space and to bring in piece by piece so that your home looks more thought out and reflects more of your personality and the things that you've done, where you've been, bringing in pieces from the travels that you've had. Cultivating your home in that way can really elevate your space. So the next element that I want to talk about is lighting. And I feel like this is something that gets overlooked a lot because we're in our homes a lot. We're used to the way that things look, but whenever you start taking photos of your space or photos in your space, then you really start to notice the lighting in your home. So if you look at interior designers, the way that they are styling their spaces, they are layering lighting. So that is one thing that I've tried to incorporate into my home, is not just having an overhead light, but adding in table lamps and floor lamps and task lamps. Anything that is going to fill in those shadows that can be cast from an overhead light. You really want to layer your lighting so that you're getting every single area of your home and of your room a lightened up effect, so that everything just seems so much brighter and warmer. You have a light for everything that you are needing to do in that room. So if you want to read in your living room, then it's nice to have a task lamp, a floor lamp right beside your reading chair so that you're able to do that reading right there and have enough light to do that. You can also replace the builder grade lights that are in your home. Switching out those ceiling fans to chandeliers or different kinds of pendant lights can really add a different element to your space and just make it look more custom and like it's your home. The next decorating mistake that you could be making is not incorporating plants into your home and into your design. So bringing in plants is just going to bring in a breath of fresh air. It's going to add so much life into your space, literally. But they are just a perfect thing to add to any space or shelf that needs to be filled with something. So whenever you're bringing these plants into your home, you want to keep in mind the light that's coming into whatever space that you're bringing it into. So if your living room doesn't get a ton of light, or the corner that you're placing the plant in doesn't get much natural light, then you're going to want to opt for a lower light plant, like a snake plant, for example, or a pothos plant also does very, very well in low light situations, and I feel like they are impossible to kill. I've had one for many years now, like 3 years, the same one, and it has definitely wilted on me a lot, but as soon as you give it water, it just spruces back up. So definitely think about that. If you have a bathroom, for example, that doesn't have any natural light at all, then a good option is incorporating some faux plants into that design. So I know Target has some really good options for faux plants. The Studio McGee line that just launched at Target has some rubber tree plants and an olive tree there as well, which I don't know if they're in stock anymore, but Pottery Barn also has a really good olive tree, faux olive tree, that you guys could look into as well. But faux plants are also a really good option to bring that life into your space and just give your space a really clean and fresh look. Another mistake that can be made is being afraid of adding in texture and patterns into your home. I know that a lot of times bringing those things in can be very challenging and scary if you don't know how to put it together well, because I have seen rooms that have just gone crazy with pattern, and it just is not pleasing to the eye. You look at it and it's just too much. There's too much going on. But there's definitely a way to do it that will add a more curated feel to your home. So you can start by adding one pattern that is more of a bold pattern, and then a secondary pattern that is not as much. So you could do a geometric with maybe a stripe, or something that's a more subtle pattern. And then throwing in solids into the mix as well is really going to help break up that pattern. Another way that you can do this is doing it with neutral colors. So if you are adding in these patterns that also have these bright, crazy colors, then it can be a lot to look at. You can also do this through rugs and layering your rugs. So I really love layering a jute rug with a more patterned rug over top of it. One design problem that I have run into in the past is not having a cohesive home. So I feel like it's really easy for this to happen because a lot of times we're not designing our entire home at one time. We're going room by room, or buying a piece here for the living room, a piece here for the bedroom, and just picking up and collecting things one at a time. So it can be really easy to end up having different pieces in different places of your house that don't really go together. A really good way to make your home feel more cohesive and like one home is to stick to a color palette. So whenever you start designing your home, pick a couple colors that you really like, that you want to incorporate into every room in your house. So that's a really good way to make sure that your home stays cohesive, is finding a color palette, sticking to it, buying pieces that have all of the colors in your color palette in that piece. So then you have that for reference of, okay, does this go in my color palette or does it not? And by doing that, you're able to have a more cohesive home that looks curated at the same time, because you're still able to go out and buy those items piece by piece and collect over time without ending up with rooms that look completely different than one another. That's all I have for you guys today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that you were able to find some solutions to mistakes that you maybe didn't even know that you were making in designing your home. If you did, then please let me know down in the comments. If this was helpful for you, give this video a thumbs up. If you like this kind of video, then please hit the subscribe button. I make new videos every single week on home decor, DIY home decor, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.